Hey, what's up, YouTube? I have a quick question. Is anyone else like perplexed by just the sheer amount of Mr. Beast videos? I don't mean like videos from Mr. Beast. I mean like all the videos about the Mr. Beast drama and every like single video talking about the drama starting with Chris Tyson, and then now like 90% of it seems to revolve around Mr. Beast himself. Like earlier on YouTube, this live stream popped up of Chris Tyson's follower count going down, so I had to look up Chris Tyson's Social Blade. By the way, Chris's sub count on Social Blade isn't that low. Wish it was. But it led me to this video about Mr. Beast quitting. And then I looked up that video, Mr. Beast quitting, and then it like led up to another unrelated video in the search bar, like right under it. And it was like an, or I guess sort of related, but Mr. Beast isn't quitting, at least like with the evidence that we have so far. And unfortunately, Chris Tyson doesn't have only 25K. But this video about the other former employee, it got released like 4 hours ago. So I don't know. I guess I might as well look at it because I haven't seen a video about Mr. Beast with merit in a couple days, and this is like one of the first in the past couple days.
One thing is I'm good at editing, and I'm great at creating ideas for others. I was meant to be off camera rather than on, and I'm okay with that.
Basically, what he's saying is that he's just an editor, which is probably like why we've never heard of this YouTuber. And it makes sense because anyone can just pick up a camera and say that they've previously worked with Mr. Beast, but this guy actually has like a portfolio and ways to prove it.
What I'm not okay with is being taken advantage of. I was lied to, manipulated, and thrown away like a piece of garbage.
Editors have got to be one of the most oppressed races ever. This is like the 12th time I've heard about a YouTuber like not paying their editor or some shit. Like I get like he was just flown down and like there was like no job opportunity, but like if you reached out to him first, I feel like you should at least compensate someone for like, you know, spending their time and resources to get down there, because like that's a lot of fucking time to like go on a flight out of state and, you know, possibly not be able to work, and then they just steal his ideas on top of that and then not pay him.
And I got an email in which I thought was a scam. I mean, for real, look at this. Even you would think the same thing if you got a random email saying, Mr. Beast follow-up, when you didn't even remember reaching out in the first.
I fucking wish my inbox had just, you know, free job opportunities with like the biggest YouTubers ever. But like, I'm pretty sure he had to have like filled out an application or a form or some shit saying he's at least interested. Because I mean, I don't think they just email everyone, but like, he did say he's a big editor, which is kind of might factor into it because like he's worked and edited for like the NFL before. So I mean, maybe Mr. Beast has someone in his like office writing emails and like gaslighting popular editors into thinking that they've signed up or some shit. Like cold calling editors, that would be fucking next level.
Everything is dated, and to make sure this information is credible, it helps it set well with you. Pay attention to these days. It's not premeditated, and I obviously had no idea Chris Tyson would be such a perv, so there's no way I would make these posts in advance of like some kind of trick. I also have decided to log into my actual Facebook and show my actual email rather than screenshots, so you know that it's not Photoshop.
I mean, like, I don't think it's photoshopped. Like, I believe this guy. But you can just use inspect element on any web page because I mean it's just text and it's like indistinguishable, even to like photo forensics. But I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe him because like there's not really any reason to lie. And I mean, I don't doubt that he was an editor for Mr. Beast. That guy's had a lot of employees, and it's not like Mr. Beast has credits on the end of every video. But like if he was lying, one of the thousands of people that saw that video is gonna like call him out, and then we'd know about it in the next couple days. Or someone at Mr. Beast that works there would be like, yeah, I've never seen him before. And I don't think they can. I don't think Mr. Beast can like successfully pull that off, like lying. So like, with how big this situation is, like the truth will always like come out eventually, unless Mr. Beast's like office is like the Wolf of Wall Street, and when they all get indicted, they just like go, I don't remember, I don't know, yeah, I don't recall anything at all. Holy shit, Mr. Beast is basically like the wolf of YouTube. He's like undermining the competition, being watched by the FTC, all about the money. He's like basically the modern day Jordan Belfort with less cocaine and quaaludes.
So in a nutshell, before we get into all the details, Mr. Beast gave me a fake job, flew me out there to work. I worked my butt off, took all my ideas, sent me home and told me there wasn't a job available, and then proceeded to not only do that, but then to take my ideas still and then make a video. So that's what we're going to be covering here. I mean, we're talking about a billionaire here. If you know who Mr. Beast is, you know exactly what we're talking about. And I can hang up my editing tool set, whatever you want to call it, dude. All that stuff. I'm not even going to be editing for the guy. I'm going to be using my mata. I'm going to be making ideas for him to make videos. I swear to God, that's what my job is. It's not editing. And that's what I got from our meetings was, you know, Mr. Beast, Jimmy, he passes me a piece of paper that says, I blew up the world's most expensive tanks or something. And he gives me a thumbnail that has a picture of him blowing up a tank. And it's my job to make a video out of that. So that was February 8th.
So it appears that he went into it thinking that he was just going to be an editor. And that's what I thought from the first few minutes of the video. But apparently he was explicitly hired as like an idea guy. And that's a little bit different because it's not like he's supposed to clock in and like, you know, just edit whatever videos get emailed to him. He was basically, you know, offered a job to get paid to, you know, pitch ideas and like find a way to actually make this like feasible. And that was basically his entire job. And it appears that like the tryout for the job is that you have to just do the job, and it's not like an internship program. They just basically kind of thinly veiled their tryout as an excuse to get free labor, basically, if what everything he's saying is true.
On February 13th is when I went to the airport. The post says, years of hard work has led me to this. My heart is pounding out of my chest. And as you can see, I'm flying to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. Working at Mr. Beast, we are collaborative first, and I was forward your submission. Don't know how I got it, but let's keep going. If you're interested, I would love to chat about your potential full-time or contract role work on Mr. Beast's creative team. Basically told me that I needed to make a prompt. And when I say prompt, let me just read the email. Hello, Ty. We'd like for you to come in for a vibe check. Vibe check means you come in for a few days to see if you're good, see if you're a good worker, see, you know, people are not going to be annoyed by you, and see if they can move further on with the hiring process. If possible, we'd like for you to come in for 3 days at some point next week. I've got a recruiting coordinator, Leslie, CC'd on this email. She will help you figure out the days which you can make it and handle your travel arrangements.
I don't understand why they need to fly him out if they just needed ideas or like, you know, like a tryout process. Like, why couldn't they do this over email? But it's probably just to ensure like that he's not held up with any other projects, like that he'd have to you know, cancel his like future plans for like the time being, and then he'd have to fly out to a different state, which kind of incentivizes people to like, you know, work a lot harder and like be more dedicated if you have to you know, put your job on the line and your livelihood, and you have to like fly out to a state where you only have like whatever's in your suitcase. So yeah, he's kind of like self-invested in Mr. Beast. So now like the Mr. Beast team has a bunch of leverage where they can just basically be as incompetent as they want, because they still end up winning in the end of the day. They have to do nothing, and in return they get something that, you know, makes them money. And it happened to make them, you know, millions of dollars, according to this guy.
Now, with that, so we have an idea that I wanted to do. So I want to talk a little bit more about my experience of being at the Mr. Beast warehouse. I've never once personally ever signed an NDA. In all my emails and all my correspondences and all my text messages, I have never once ever signed an NDA. But what I think what they're doing, there is an iPad as soon as you get to the warehouse, as soon as you walk in, and you have to sign in. And it asks you things like your first name, last name, email address, all that, phone number, and stuff like that. And I have a very, very, very high suspicion that when you sign your name in there and you sign in, I think you're also signing an NDA. They don't come out and say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. That's just something that I think. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I'm thinking, because I don't want to get sued by them, because I'm, like I said earlier, I'm a nobody.
This is completely crazy if the fucking iPads to sign in at Mr. Beast are like secretly embedded with like an NDA and the terms of service. Because like if you have to enter your email and shit, the least they could do as like a courtesy is notify you that you signed this terms of service and like send a reminder. Because like if you get off the plane, you probably like are in some like shitty hotel. You know, you're probably like not very well rested, like especially if you have to switch time zones, and like you get there the first day and then you know, they tell you how to sign in, and you don't want to be like, okay, let me get like an hour to sit through these fucking terms of service and like call a lawyer or some shit to go over the fine print, you'd look like the biggest asshole on your first day of work, and you'd probably like lose any chance of like getting a job. So like 99% of people are going to, just immediately like type in their information and hit agree, and then like get the day started.
So I do my pitch, and Hoodie says, you know what? I want you to go shadow some people for the rest of the day. I want you to go work with this team and see how you can contribute to them. So let's break down the positions in the Mr. Beast company. You have C1. C1 is the head person of that department. So if you're in creative, you're C1. So creative, studio 1, C1. So there's creative studio 2, there's a C1 for that. Creative studio 3, there's a C1 for that. Then ideation, Studio 1, C1. Ideation, Studio 2, same thing. They're just levels. They're just the head honcho of that department. And then within that, you also have a C2 and a C3. I assume C2 is like the person who are in between. And I know C3 is like the bitch of the company. They just write notes. They don't do anything. They just write notes. Whatever is said, they take notes. They take minutes, and they write everything. They're like the grunts of that department. I went to this new room that Hoodie told me to go to, and there was 3 positions. Well, there was 2 positions at the time. I don't know where the third one's at. There was only a C3 and then a C2. I mean, a C1. The C1's name was C. The C3, I talked to him for like 30 seconds. I don't know what his name was. And we were working on a video. We're working on a video called The World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course. Now we are getting to the part where you finally can understand why I'm so mad, so upset that I got scammed. I got absolutely scammed by the biggest YouTuber in the entire world. This is where you're gonna find out why I was upset. Now it's gonna come full circle. I'm gonna have to tell you everything. We're working on the video, World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course, and I want to show some videos and proof of what I did. I mean, if you look at these ideas, whatever, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I'm looking at the most is all the way at the bottom. It looks like it says Marlo, but it says Mario. And I think I put that in my prompt as well. If anyone's ever seen Mario, they have the floating blocks. And I wanted to see how I can make an obstacle course with those floating blocks. I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I realized it's just impossible to make floating blocks in the air. I don't know how you would do it. Logistically, it's just not going to work, and physically, I don't think it would work either. So I came up with the idea with a trellis net, or I came up with the idea with the truss. Taking a look at this picture right here. So this was my idea here. I wanted to make an obstacle course in the air, but like somehow incorporate it with the Mario idea. Somehow just, I don't know, somehow do that. This is a picture that I drew for this pitch.
So he's basically saying that he came up with this video idea, and then he's talking about like the fact that he came up with the Mario idea, and that like to prove he was inspired by Mario at that time, his dog was named Mario. And I mean, like I believe him, and like he has no reason to lie and like risk his career, because he's like an actual like, you know, editor that's like doing well for himself, and he has like previous experience in like other famous YouTube channels. But like, I mean, there's like no reason to like give that info, because if you are lying, like I swear to God, some with like the amount of views this whole Mr. Beast situation is getting, like some nerds just like gonna like find it out and like call out whatever lie it is. Because I mean, on both sides, because like there's a lot of people. Mr. Beast has like lawyers that will like instantly point out anything that's not like 100% like a evidence backed like claim. They're gonna like call it out, and there's gonna be people on the internet looking for people like lying about working for Mr. Beast and like exactly what happened and all that. So I mean, there's like no reason to really lie, because if you have like 100,000 people out of the like 20 million that are like watching these videos and shit, like especially with like the dog pack one, like people are gonna eventually find out the truth on a scale that big.
But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. Not a single word until I saw this on Twitter. Just uploaded the most insane video we've ever done. Go watch. Take a look at this picture. Take a good hard look at this picture. Does that remind you of anything?
Damn, this is kind of like solid proof. Honestly, my opinion on Mr. Beast, like currently, I'd have to say is like, I guess it's cutthroat business, and like we've got shit twisted the whole time. I really think, Mr. Beast is like some kind of like fucking modern day Tony Montana or some shit. He's just like all about his business, and like it to the point where it kind of ruined him, and like now everyone's at the door like after him. Like I remember back watching him when he's like Mr. Beast 6000, when he'd like make fun of thumbnails and shit, And before that, he was just Beast. And his like profile picture was just like a bee with like 3D text or some shit. But we haven't even gotten to part two, so let's get into that. It's gonna be like a power round. The pacing on this video is kind of fucked up because I started it in the morning, and then I kind of got distracted on Twitter all day, and now it's like 4:30. So I'm gonna try to finish it before I go to bed, so I at least feel productive for the day. So let's get into it really quick.
I want to take the time to really address these issues, address the Mr. Beast team directly, address Mr. Beast directly, address the criticism, along with adding more information that you guys didn't hear in the first video. The point is, they were flying out vulnerable, regular people under false pretenses of having an actual job in order for them to give them ideas so that they can send them home legally, and they'll be like, hey, we got a brand new video idea. It's the easiest way to generate video ideas without actually having to pay for them.
And like I completely believe him here, because this is like so devious and shit, but like it makes a lot of sense because like what's cheaper, hiring an employee and like having them sign a bunch of contracts, having them like be a possible liability for your brand, having to give them benefits and like insurance and shit and all that, or just buying a plane ticket and then buying a hotel and then having them out there for like a couple days and then basically just be like, yeah, to try out for your job, you just have to like basically do your job.
I don't need clout. I don't need subscribers. I've never really felt comfortable on camera, so clout is not one of my things that I'm looking for right now.
It is 1 a.m. and I am absolutely tired, so take a shower, go to bed. I'll see those fools in the morning.
These are strenuous conditions, and we're working till like 1 in the morning with nothing to show for it.
And it kind of makes sense and like kind of reminds me of like the dog pack video where he had that, I forgot his name, but he had that guy on that was in the challenge and he was kind of sleep deprived because they kind of, well, I'm not saying that he was sleep deprived like in like 1% of the way that guy was, but I just mean like they flew him out there and he's in like a different state and they have you in such like a financial and time investment. And for Jake Weddle, he was in kind of like a physical and like emotional investment because he was basically being tortured like with crimes against the Geneva Convention.
As far as the GoFundMe, that was a mistake, and it was truly embarrassing after actually seeing it. It was embarrassing. And after some thought, even though I did an pinned comment, I'm not going to apologize for that. I don't want you guys' money. Everything was refunded. If you don't listen to me, listen to Dogpack. There are so many things that make sense, and there are so many things that don't make sense that just can't be ignored at this point. So most importantly, you've always said, I want to make the best YouTube videos ever. I want to make the best videos on YouTube, and I have an idea for you. How about you address your followers? How about you address the people who blindly follow you? Address the people who are being deceived by you constantly, day by day by day. How about we make that video? How about it, Jimmy? That would be the best retention of all time. Here are my receipts. Here's my proof. Defend yourself. Let them know everything because the silence is deafening. You aren't the president of the United States. Crazy thing is, even Trump would do it. He will tweet about it. This man will go on TV.
And that is a good point. Like, I don't even understand why Mr. Beast isn't like going out and like at least making a tweet. That's like the bare minimum he could do, and he can like hire a PR specialist to like fucking write a tweet for him. He can hire a whole fucking team if he wants to, but just staying silent makes him look guilty. But yeah, there's not really much else to talk about in terms of the Mr. Beast situation. I just figured I'd make a another video on it because it's been a couple days. But thanks for watching, and I'm about to make the worst thumbnail in the world because it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I really want to get this video done before I go to sleep.